You are listening to the Empowering Working Moms podcast, Real Talk with Dr. Prianca Naik, a show to help professional moms in survival mode to take hold of their lives and thrive. If you're ready to take powerful action to create your best life, then this is the show for you. I'm your host, Dr. Prianca Naik, board-certified internal medicine physician and certified life coach. Now let's get to it and dive in. You are listening to the Empowering Working Moms podcast, episode number 53. Hello. Happy summer. It is June. I am recording a couple of podcasts at the same time, and by the time this hits, I will be 40. So cool. I know some people, especially women, they don't like getting older because I don't know, maybe they're just societal ideas that women age poorly or women aren't as valuable, I guess. I don't even know, or worth, like, it's ridiculous because I am so proud and happy to be turning 40. And especially in my doctoring work, I think it gives me more credibility because patients often they don't take younger doctors seriously, but also that I try to have, like a funness and levity about me. I think sometimes when people reach middle age, they have this baggage that they carry often, and it translates and it comes across, and it's really sad. And that is what a lot of people associate with middle age. So I pride myself, and vow's not the word, but I've decided that I am going to keep my young energy for until I'm an old, frail lady. Okay. Anyway, so this is my moment here on this podcast celebrating my 40th birthday. It will have already passed by now, but right now when I'm recording it, it is coming up and I am pumped. I am excited about all of the things I've accomplished so far. I'm so proud of myself, and and also what's to come too. So many amazing changes and moving forward in my life. And if I'm really brutally honest on this podcast and give you real talk, 2020 to 2022 were some of the hardest years of my life. They were really rough. And I maintained my peace and joy throughout, which is really what's given me the inspiration for coaching all of my beautiful clients who are exhausted professional moms, doctors, lawyers. But truly where I am today, I have so much gratitude. And I'm doing this. Maybe you think this is a brag fest, but I'm actually telling you all of this as an example for you, hopefully, to stop and think of where you are in your life. And I know there are things in your life that probably you're not where you thought you would be by this time. I relate to that too. There are things in my life where, yeah, this isn't where I thought I would be at 40, for sure. But also, we can make a choice to celebrate all of our achievements, everything that you've achieved up until this point, okay? And I've definitely talked about this on past podcasts, but I want to bring it up again because I'm celebrating myself and I want you to celebrate yourself. And I'm actually going to take a second to celebrate you. So you wonderful lady who's listening, I see you. I know all of the amazing things you've done to get here. And you're a mom, and that takes so much strength and grace. Okay. You are doing a better job than you think you are. And I want you to take this moment to just literally, either mentally or physically, give yourself a hug, put your hand on your heart, and breathe and be with yourself and be proud of how far you've come. And we ain't done yet because there is so much more work to do. And I know you can do it. And if you are a high achieving type A mom, a doctor, lawyer, exec, and you're exhausted, even though you've worked so hard, and maybe you've tried therapy, self-help books, meditation, and you just aren't where you want to be, you're not enjoying your life, I will tell you that in 90 days or less, with not a whole lot of work, you truly can be out of burnout and exhaustion, enjoying your life again. Book a call with me, Prianca Naik, mdcoaching.as.me. I would love to see where you are and help you to get to where you want to go to truly cultivate that peace of mind and joy every single day in 90 days or less. Today, I want to talk about truly empowering ourselves and really ditching that sense of victimhood. Something that's a magic pill for inner peace and strength, right? This, of course, we know is a major antidote to exhaustion and burnout, getting out of victim mode and the victim mentality, because we choose everything. Everything is a choice to be working at whatever job you're doing, even if you feel you need to work for money. You decide every day when you get up to go to work, or Monday through Friday, maybe. I personally work on weekends sometimes, but that's neither here nor there. It is a choice, though, even when I work on weekends. If I don't like it, it's my choice, and I could change it if I wanted to, right? It is a choice to be with your partner if you're in a marriage or relationship. You choose to be there. You can always choose to end it if you want. You get to decide. You chose to have children. Now, maybe this is abrasive or you're not liking what I'm saying, and sorry, but that is too bad. The sooner we realize that everything is a choice, the sooner that we aren't victims, the sooner we are empowered. Now, I have had malignant romantic relationships in the past. I've had situations where the person has lied to me or hidden things from me or harmed me. They did me dirty, right? But the truth is, I chose to be there. I chose to be with people or those people, even though my instinct told me otherwise. It told me not to. I ignored it. So even though I could sit there victimizing myself, saying that, oh, so and so did this to me, did that to me, life's not fair, it's not fair, I choose not to, and I won't, because it's a lot more empowering to not do that and to really realize that these were my choices. And that at the end of the day gives me peace of mind. And that's one of the ways in which I cultivate inner peace. And that's why I'm not exhausted and burned out. Okay. And you could do the same. You see, our experience of life is actually determined by the lens that we put on it. We get to choose the lens in which we see things. I choose to put an empowered lens on things. And again, that's how I enjoy every day. I choose happiness. I choose peace. I have even chosen peace when there has been chaos around me. Bad chaos, believe me. And this is why I am so passionate about this work, because all of my practices are teachable. And that is what I do inside my foundational program. It's for professional moms to be out of burnout and exhaustion in 90 days or less. And I am talking about doctors, lawyers, executives who have done it all. They've tried it all. They've worked so hard. And I will talk about how to join my program at the end of this episode. So the sooner we empower ourselves, the faster we get what we want and the faster that we make our visions a reality. And then the happier we are. So why not do that? Why not choose how you're going to see things? I challenge you to think of a really hard time in your life. What was happening? How did you feel? When you think about it right now, where do you feel it in your body? And as you sit with that feeling, mine is usually, I've talked about this before, it's usually a squeezing in my throat. So you're sitting with your own feeling, wherever that is for you. Think about how that time in your life, that difficult time, brought you to where you are today. Because we are all in a journey here and life just isn't perfect. It's not. It's beautiful and it's ugly and it can be up and down. It can be sort of just steady, right? It can be all kinds of things. But when we see it like that, when we have that lens that we're on a journey and one thing brings us to the next, where we're meant to be, right? We can have a better perspective about things and we're no longer victims. And we can actually, in fact, be appreciative of everything in our lives. So, how has that hard time for you served you in some way? I know for me, I've talked about this in the past, but it took me 3 years to get into a US allopathic medical school. And that was one of the harder times in my life up until a couple years ago, which ended up being 2020 to 2022, hardest time in my life so far. But that at that time was, and what that really taught me was that I was strong and resilient, and that when I put my mind to something, I make it happen. And I wouldn't be where I am, who I am today, without that hard time. So that's my story. And I know you have your own. And as you can come up with this example for yourself, you can see that building this grit in ourselves really empowers us and helps us to go where we need to go. And I also will tell you that some of the hardest and darkest parts of my journey, things I don't necessarily share publicly because they are private and very personal. But so far, those things have truly been what got me into this work. And well, I'll correct myself. It's what got me so deep into this work because I've always been into personal development, but I had to dig really, really deep into my own journey to cultivate that inner peace and joy in extremely tough circumstances. And when I was able to do that, and I really taught myself that skill, I knew I could teach it to others. And that really is my mission. And so much of this work, cultivating inner peace and joy, it starts with awareness and empowerment. So today we touch upon empowering ourselves and no longer being victims to our circumstances. Every time something goes wrong, think of how it is actually serving you. If the universe or a higher power were trying to give you a message, what would that message be? An example of this that happened to me this week, actually, Tuesday, I banged my knee on the car door getting into the car. Now, I'm sure I've mentioned this in the past, or maybe you don't know this about me, but I work out probably 5 to 6 days a week. It's really great for my mental health and it gives me confidence. And, I just feel good about myself when I do. And banging my knee really messed that up for me. So I was forced to take several days of rest. I'm still resting my knee today and I'm not exercising because I don't want to mess it up in the long run. But the point is, I took that as a message from the universe to slow things down and to also, it's a break I'm getting from working out. And though I'm a huge proponent of working out, it does take up time in my day. So now I've got more free time. The time that I would work out, I can do something else. And I see that as me banging at my knee. That's how it's serving me. So if you have something in your life that you don't like, really take the time to think about how you created it. Because somehow, somewhere along the line, you did. So I'm kind of chuckling because in a more woo-woo spiritual, or in the more woo-woo spiritual circles, it's believed that we actually choose our parents also. Like our little baby spirits choose our parents. And I actually believe this too. And so by believing this and thinking this, right, it empowers me because I know that my parents, my experience, everything that's happened to me up until now has brought me here. And I am grateful for that. I am so grateful. Instead of being a victim or of whatever negative things, right? And we all know, Indian parents, if you're Indian, you know this, they are strict. And when you are first generation growing up in this country with Indian parents from India, it's just different. And it's beautiful too, of course, because Indian people really care about their kids and they want them to do well. And I'm so grateful for that. Everything has its pluses or minuses, right? But the bottom line is that even whatever negative stuff from my childhood or my past or whatever, I really can see it as all of the stuff that needed to either helped me or challenged me to bring me here. So as you move forward, try one of the tactics or things that I talked about today and see how you start to feel. You will shift in a positive way. I promise. To get started and put this work into healing yourself from the inside out of exhaustion and burnout, book a call with me, Prianca Naik, mdcoaching.as.me to get started. Thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you next week. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Empowering Working Moms podcast, Real Talk with Dr. Prianca Naik. If you are ready to get unstuck and out of survival mode to live your best life, I want to invite you to book a free 30-minute consultation call with me. To get started, visit Prianca Naik, mdcoaching.as.me. Link in the show notes.